470 horsepower, up to 64 kilometers, around 40 miles of pure electric range. 8-speed automatic, all-wheel drive, and a name that has spent 2 decades defining what a luxury SUV is allowed to be. At 139,787 euros, the question is not whether this car is impressive. It is whether the hybrid story is real. After spending some time with it, I have an answer. The Black Edition is a visual decision, not a performance one, and it is the right call. Gloss black across the window surrounds, roof rails, and side blades. 21-inch wheels in the same finish. In Vanadium Grey Metallic, the color on this car, the result is a Cayenne that reads composed rather than conspicuous. The proportions on this generation have always been better than the critics admitted, and this combination makes that case without requesting your attention. What the Black Edition does not do is change the mechanical specification in any direction. The acid green brake calipers remain the hybrid identifier Porsche has used across every E-Performance model since the 918 Spider. On a blacked-out car in Vanadium Grey, they read louder than they would on a white or silver example. I like that tension. A car this restrained on the outside still has a signal for those who know what it means. 650 Nm from the combined powertrain, in full electric mode, all of it from 0 revs. 4.7 seconds to 100 km per hour, around 4.5 seconds to 60 miles per hour. The car does not build to that figure, it starts there. What that means for how often the V6 actually needs to wake up is the argument this walkaround makes. The interior is where this car spends most of its time making its case. Smooth black leather throughout, no contrasting stitching. No color breaks, a 12.6-inch curved driver display that keeps information exactly where your eyes already sit. The seat positions you lower than an SUV this size has any right to it is the correct driving position. And on the Sport Chrono dial on the dashboard, the one lifted directly from Porsche's motorsport tradition, the needles are acid green, not a color choice, not a configurator option. Standard. On a car with a blacked-out exterior theme, that detail is a small act of honesty about what is underneath. The head-up display is standard on this trim. Full color, height adjustable, puts speed, navigation, and driving mode directly in your line of sight. In Sport Plus mode, it shows lateral and longitudinal acceleration. That is information you did not know you needed at a motorway junction until you have it. I've spent time in cabins at similar prices that felt less considered than this one. I wasn't expecting to say that, and I'm saying it anyway. Rear knee room surprises. The exterior proportions suggest less than the rear cabin delivers, and that matters for a car most buyers will not be sitting alone in. 4-zone automatic climate control, individual settings per seat position. No argument from anyone in the back about the temperature, which on a longer family run is not a small thing. The haptic controls on the steering wheel. 3 days in, I am still mishitting them. On a car at this price, that should have been resolved. I've noticed it every day, and I'm not pretending otherwise. 625 liters, around 22.1 cubic feet, seats up and floor flat. The 25.9 kilowatt-hour battery is packaged beneath the load floor Porsche, built around the cells rather than into the boot. The result is a PHEV that does not ask you to negotiate on practicality. Most plug-in hybrids in this class cannot make that sentence stick. Whether the range this battery delivers in real conditions covers the commute you actually drive is the argument this car is making. That is next. 25.9 kilowatt-hours gross. Official electric range. 64 kilometers, around 40 miles. In real conditions, climate control running, mixed roads expect 45 to 55 kilometers. Around 28 to 34 miles. For most of the buyers Porsche is building this for, that is a working week of commuting without waking the petrol engine. Charging ceiling is 11 kilowatts AC. Full charge from empty in around 2.5 hours on a home wallbox. No DC fast charging on the standard specification on a longer motorway run. A rapid stop will not recover range quickly. That is the honest limitation, and I'm not going to bury it. What makes the Cayenne e-hybrid more interesting than the range figure alone is the driving mode architecture. There are 6 modes. E-Power runs the car on electricity only up to around 135 km per hour, around 84 miles per hour. Hybrid Auto uses navigation and environmental data to plan when to draw on each source on a route it knows. It will prioritize the electric motor through urban sections and hand off to the V6 on the motorway without being asked. E-Charge is the mode most people miss. At higher speeds, the V6 takes over entirely and charges the battery to 80%. so you can arrive at a city section with range rebuilt. Then there is Sport Response. Press the button in the center of the mode switch, and for 20 seconds, the powertrain sharpens every response, every shift, every throttle input. It is a countdown. It is also completely unnecessary and completely impossible to resist. This boost logic comes directly from the 918 Spider, not as a marketing line, as an engineering decision. The electric motor is available in every mode for additional torque, which means even in Sport Plus, when you press the throttle hard, the battery adds its output on top of the V6's. The result is a torque figure 650 Nm that arrives with no notice and no gradient. It is simply there. Standard Porsche active suspension management adjusts damping per wheel in real time. In normal mode, it is a comfortable family SUV. In Sport Plus, it is a car that makes no apology for what it weighs. The transition between those two versions of the same car is not gradual. It is a decision made by the mode switch, and it holds. 139,787 euros. The BMW X5 xDrive 50e in equivalent specification costs less. The Mercedes GLE 450e costs less. Neither matches the Cayenne's chassis precision, the steering weight, the body control through a fast corner, the feeling that this SUV is engaged with the road rather than carried over it. That €8,000 gap to the X5 buys a bearish motor and work badge, a stronger residual value curve, and a dealer network with more history in it. Those are real things. What it does not buy is a boost strategy borrowed from a supercar, 6 driving modes that actually change the character of the vehicle, or a boot that the battery has not touched. The car on this stand was already sold. That sign verkauft was on it when I found it at the motor show. I'm not surprised. What this walkaround settles is not whether a 470 horsepower SUV needs a hybrid powertrain. It is whether the hybrid makes this car more honest to own. If your daily range fits inside that electric window and you charge overnight, the answer is yes convincingly. If it doesn't, you are paying for a story your fuel receipts will quietly contradict. I'd take the black edition, not for the package for the restraint. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Leave a comment below with your thoughts or questions. I read every single one. And don't forget to click the bell icon to get notified about my next upload. See you in the next video.